Just a moment, please.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I'm using my phone. I want to ask, is there a way I can stop calls from coming in to in?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I think you can try do not disturb.
Oh, okay.
I think it might work.
That's really put the phone on silent, I guess.
Yeah, but you know, when the calls come in, they kind of interrupt a Zoom meeting.
Yes.
Okay, so let me.
It breaks the internet when calls come in.
Yeah, okay, so let me put on my laptop too, but that my fear for that one is NEPA. Uncle NEPA.
All right.
Okay, I know what to do.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
We need to start now.
Morning.
How are you all doing this morning?
Great. Amazing.
Good
Fine,
to see
thank you.
Good to see everyone after a long while. The last time we had the meeting was 2 weeks ago, and it was a contest and all. Okay, to kickstart, and let me share my screen. Let us take the Toastmaster promise. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, you can see your screen.
Okay. The count of 2. Let's all take the Toastmaster promise. 1, 2. As a member of
Toastmasters
International,
my club, I promise
to attend the club meetings regularly. I prepare all my projects
to the best of my ability, basing them on the Toastmasters education program
to prepare for
and fulfill meeting assignments, to
provide
fellow Toastmasters with helpful, constructive evaluations, to help the club maintain the positive, friendly environment necessary for all members to learn and grow, to serve my club as an officer when called upon to do so, to treat my fellow club members and our guests with respect and courtesy, to bring guests to the club meetings
so that they can see
the benefits
Toastmasters
membership offers, to
adhere to the
guidelines
for all Toastmasters educational and recognition program.
To
act within Toastmasters' core values: integrity, respect, service, excellence during the conduct of all Toastmasters activities.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, can we all mute our mic if you are not speaking? I can hear a sound, an echo, which is not friendly. Okay, thank you, everyone. So the rule of the meeting is still same. If you are not speaking, kindly unmute your mic, and then we'll crave your indulgence to switch on your video, which makes sense when people see the person start talking. But you can always mute your mic to avoid any distractions. Without further ado, I would like to call on the person that will be standing in place of the president. I guess the president is kind of busy this morning, and in the person of the person is Tim Roots Ijoma. Tim Ijoma joined Toastmasters in 2019. She's an admin personnel who loves writing, dancing, and eating. Tim Roots, the virtual button is yours.
Thank you. Okay, good morning, dear Toastmasters and ever-pleasant guests. On behalf of the President of Lighthouse Toastmasters Club and Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club, I say a big welcome to you and thank you for joining today's meeting. The theme for today says, let's go. Now, when we hear let's go, I am certain some questions pop up in mind. Questions like, what exactly do we need to let go? And when do we let go? Now, some of the things we need to let go if we are to move forward include procrastination, worrying about the future, comparing yourself to others, thinking less of yourself, and even thinking you're not ready to take on new opportunities. I know letting go can be incredibly difficult, but the truth is, the desperate attempts to hold on to things or people can limit one's capability of finding peace, finding happiness, finding joy in the present moment. Yes, you heard me right, people. It's not just inanimate or abstract objects to let go of. You also let go of people who are toxic, people who enjoy or derive joy in just picking faults in you, people who do not want to be held on to. I am specifically not an advocate of forced friendship or forced relationship. So I say to you today, let it go. And life is filled with changes. What I mean by this is that no matter how hard you try to hold on to things or keep things at status quo or keep things the way they are, at one point or the other, things changes, whether you like the change or not. However, if we learn to let go and not hold on or try to influence or change the environment. Sorry, can you hear me?
I think your background is noisy.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. We can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
However, if we feel or if we try to not hold on to things, if we let go, I can assure you that we open ourselves to new opportunities. Deborah Reba once said, letting go does not mean you don't care about the person or anybody. It basically means you have only control over yourself. Masters and pleasant guests. Remember, if you have to fly, you have to leave the earth. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on. I suppose you are supposed to introduce the Toastmaster of the day. Tim Ruth. Okay, so in today's meeting, the Toastmaster of the day will be no other person than Tim, Juliet, or Kenny. Can you all hear me? Because I have a network issue the other time.
Tim, I think you have the right to do that.
Yes, I can hear you.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, all right, thank you. So Tim, Juliet.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you very much. Tim, Juliet, are you in the meeting?
Yes, please, I'm here, TM Gwemi.
Okay. All right. So you are going to be our Toastmaster of the day. Can you please, because I wasn't prepared for this. It was Tim and Ruth that was supposed to introduce you, but can take over the virtual letter now.
Thank you, TM Gwemi. Thank you so much. I guess that would give me more time because my introduction time has been added to my 2 minutes. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and thank you, TM Gwemi, for the very, very, very brief introduction. So I am your Toastmaster of the day, and I will try and use my energy, my smile, my blonde hair to drive the energy of this meeting. So I'm going to leave my camera on so that you can be infected by my good looks. Some people say I have good looks. If you don't think so, don't worry. It doesn't even matter. I think I do. So thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you, TM Salon. Thank you so much. So I'm going to leave my camera on, like TM Gwemi said, so we can keep the meeting up, because if we're in a physical meeting, honestly, we'll be in the room. We will not be hidden behind cameras or behind notebooks, right? So it helps the speakers know how far they're doing, because I think that is one of the best feedback you can give a speaker. When your physiology flows with the speaker. So if the speaker is boring, you're more or less like this, and the speaker is interesting, your eyes light up, your hands and your body moves, and the speaker gets to know that he or she is doing the right thing. So if you can put on your camera like TM Gwemi advised, please do. If you can't, let's use what Zoom has given to us for the time being, and those are the emojis. So if you check below your phone or your screen, there's a place where it says reaction. Now, if you think that my blonde is fine and suits my complexion, you can give me a thumbs up from the reaction box. Thank you, TM Rotimi. Thank you, TM Rotimi. If you think that women rule the world, you could give me a hat. Just give me a hat. Sam. And if you think every day is a celebration, please give me the celebration emoji. I just did that. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for going along with me. So at this point, I'm going to hand over to the General Evaluator, TM Timothy, and I would read his bio. But before I do, I'm going to tell you that he's a very important person for this meeting, and he will be working with me to make sure that your time here today is worthwhile, that you learn, that you laugh. I believe that you have to laugh in life as much as possible. So working with me is the General Evaluator and the other teams, and TM Timothy is going to do that, but I'll give you his bio quickly because I have it. He joined Toastmasters last year, September, and he's a real estate consultant. So he's very rich and he works with rich people. Now he has lots of hobbies, which includes he loves to read, he loves to surf the internet, and he loves to skate. And he has some other hobbies that women love, women like me. He can sing, he can cook, and he's very creative. Please join me, whether virtually or physically, to welcome TM Timothy to the virtual lecture.
Thank you very, very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, for the very warm introduction. I was actually blushing when you were reading out my hobbies. So, good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I will be your Toastmasters for today. I would be your General Evaluator for today. And allow me to start with this quote from Henry Cloud, which says, "The natural response to evaluation is to feel judged. We have to mature to a place where we respond to it with gratitude and love feedback." So my role as a general evaluator is to check the meeting's activity and evaluate it. And of course, I am not alone in this evaluation process. I have my capable co-evaluators with me. And as our prolific speaker would hold us spellbound on our seats, feel free to relax and enjoy the ride as I introduce the role players. I'll be starting with our grammarian. As we all know, grammar is the structure of any language. So in this respect, I'll be calling on our grammarian in the person of TM Kachi Uche. TM Kachi Uche joined Toastmasters in 2020. She is a brand strategist, and her hobbies include baking, acting, and talking. TM Kachi, well, you know, when we buy suya, we usually ask for testing. If I buy cake from you today, would you give me some testing? Okay. Join me, everyone, as I introduce TM Kachi Uche. A round of applause for her.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, our guests. Good morning, Toastmaster of the day. So today I'll be functioning as the grammarian for today, and my role involves ensuring that speakers, can you hear me? Am I audible? Okay. So yes, my role involves ensuring that the speakers use the right tenses and make use of the right use of words, and also to ensure that words are rightly pronounced. And I'll be introducing our word for today, which is the word that we all have to try and make use of today, and it is the word relinquish. Relinquish means to be able to withdraw or retreat from. and to be able to withdraw or retreat from. And it can be used in words like meaning, like, okay, the African leaders have a habit of finding it difficult to relinquish power, which is what we all experience in most of our countries. So I'll also be, am I the accountant? No, I'm just the grammarian. So yeah, that's my role. So as the speech goes on, I'll be ensuring, I'll be listening.
Sorry to interrupt. I think you also double as the accountant.
Okay, sorry. So I'm also the accountant for today, and that role ensures that while we speak, I'll listen up to know how we use pulses like okay. And I'll have to, as we do that, I'll take note of it. And at the end of the speech, we'll have to evaluate how each speaker made use of the word of the day, how they use their words, the English words in their conversation, and also the use of pulses. Thank you very much. Over to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Yeah, thank you very, very much, TM Kachi Uche. Listening is an important part of communication, as they say. So the next role player I'll be calling on is our listening evaluator, who is in the person of TM Ayotola Olanrewaju. She is the current VP membership of Lighthouse Prestige Club, and also participated in the 2020 International Speech Contest, where she came second in the district level after winning at the club, area, and divisional level. She is a stylist and enjoys mirror talking. TM Ayotola, you're a stylist, right? Maybe you give me some ideas on how to style my hair so that it look more charming, like TM Juliet. So let's make welcome TM Ayotola as she explains her role. A round of applause for her, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. General Evaluator. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Okay, so like the General Evaluator rightly said, listening is very important in communication. And I believe that's why Thomas Edison once said, we have but 2 ears and 1 eye, so we can and 1 mouth, sorry. So we can listen twice as much as we speak. So you know that in communication, listening is very key. And my role today, I would be playing it by listening very closely to all of the speakers in today's meeting, jot some interesting things down. And towards the end of the meeting, I would be back here and ask questions. Just, interested. It's a very interesting session, trust me. And all you just have to do is listen to along the line so that, you can get who said what was said by who, and all of that. So basically, that's what the role entails. Thank you so much. See you towards the end of the meeting. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, TM Ayotola. So we move on. Time is life and time is money. The next role player would be our timekeeper, and she is of a person of TM Ruth Ijoma. She joined Toastmasters in January 2019, and she's the current VPPR of Lighthouse Club, and also the current Division F Public Relations Manager. She won the 2019 Humorous Speech Contest at the club, area, and divisional level. She enjoys eating, dancing, and having fun. TM Roots, perhaps I would like to see some of your dancing steps someday, so maybe I could add it to my dancing arsenal, you know. So join me in welcoming TM Roots. A round of applause for her, please. Over to you, TM Roots.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Thank you so much. Sorry, excuse me, 1 minute. Okay, yes, back to where we are. Thank you very much. Basically, my role as the timer would be nothing short of monitoring the time for today's meeting. Everything that has to do with time and everything that would be, every second we spend here is going to be on me. So this meeting is spectacular and different in the sense that we will be having our normal and regular table topics and prepared speech, and we'll also be having a panelist session. For the table topics, every speaker is supposed to speak for 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I would share my screen and display the green card as I am doing currently. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I would share the yellow card. And at 2 minutes on the dot, I would give a red flag. I will share my red flag. Please ensure you stop when you see my card, else you'll be disqualified. For the prepared speech, you also have 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll equally share my green card. At 6 minutes, I would share my yellow card. And at the 7th minute, I would give out my red card. Please note, for the table topics and prepared speech, all speakers have extra grace of 30 seconds to round off, aside the time allocated for them. During the panelist session, we'll be having 3 questions for all our panelists. The first 2 questions must be answered in 1 minute or 2 minutes, 2 minutes maximum. So once it's 1 minute, I would display my green card. 1 minute, 30 seconds, I'll display my yellow card, and 2 minutes on the dot, I give my red card. But the last question, like I said, they would have 3 questions to answer. The first 2 questions would take 2 minutes, but the last question should be answered in 1 minute. So after 30 seconds, I would display my green card. 45 seconds down, I'll give my yellow card, and 1 minute on the dot, I'll be presenting my red card. I wish all speakers the best, and please let's keep to time. Thank you. Over to you, the General.
All right, thank you, TM Ruth, for explaining your role. And at this point, I would hand over to the Toastmaster of the day, the Madam Toastmasters. Over to you.
Thank you so much, the General Evaluator. That was very straight. That was to the point, and I understood everything. So thanks for putting us through the scope of today's meeting. I would like the grammarian to please post the word of the day in the comments, in the chat box, so people can be familiar with it and use it throughout today's meeting. Thank you so much. I am going to now bring somebody powerful to the lectern, because he's handling my favorite section of any Toastmasters meeting, which is the table topic session. Now, I'll make a quick confession. I got better in public speaking when I took on the challenge of always taking on questions during the table topic section. Because unlike prepared speech, where you practice and practice, in the table topic session, you don't practice and you learn faster. So it's risky, but it's a fast and quick way to learn. And the person handling this section is my friend and my personal hype man in the person of TM Gimbal. TM Gimbal has a lot of hobbies, but we share 2 in common. We love to sleep and we love to read. So please join me to welcome this great man, TM Gimbal, our secretary, to the virtual lectern. TM Gimbal, please.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Juliet, for that nice introduction. Today, I'm not eating or sleeping. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to just do the table topics, master, and the panel moderation. But the food will come in later. I'm not going to abandon food for anything. So today we have a special panel today. It will be on productive habits, and we are going to merge it together with the table topics. So we have 3 panelists, and we will have 2 table topic speakers. So what we are going to do today is we will have the table topic speakers. We'll have one at the beginning and one at the end. Then in the middle, we'll have the panelists. So everything, give or take, maybe 20 minutes. So let's gear up. First of all, let me talk about table topics. Basically, it's that portion of the meeting where everybody is afraid, thinking that the table topics master will call them to come and speak in front of the audience. You would assume as a Zoom meeting that people won't be afraid of the lectern. Will be surprised why a lot of people have their cameras off, thinking that I can't see them. So I have the power of actually nominating you regardless of whether your camera is open or not. I have the power to decide if I'm calling a guest. So guests in the house, I've seen you, I can see you all. Distinguished, ladies and gentlemen, we have a distinguished Toastmaster in the house. So I have the power to actually call them to the lectern too. And like the timer said, it's 1 to 2 minutes. So you speak for a minimum, you speak for 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes, minimum of 1 minute and a maximum of 2 minutes. For the panelists, like she also rightly said, 3 questions, 2 questions, 2 minutes, and then the last question for 1 minute. So without further delay, we will start immediately. I would like for someone to volunteer for the table topics. Let me not call anybody. Let me call someone at the end. So please, if you're interested in table topics, just indicate. Aha, we have a volunteer already, Toastmaster Gbemi. So you decided to volunteer so that I don't call you. Nice. All right, Toastmaster Gbemi, in 1 to 2 minutes, tell us what is your least productive habit and what are you doing about it? Your least productive habit and what exactly are you doing about it?
All right. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests once again. So this question caught me off guard really, because I don't, okay, my least productive habit. Okay, so one of those things is, okay, I tend to leave some things, like let me say, like I procrastinate a lot. Like, okay, some things I need to do at point, I'll just okay, I'll do it later most of the time, and I get to do things in rush at most times. Because, okay, before now, I am kind of person that, okay, I love my being alone, my own space and all. So when I have things to do, like so important, I tend to leave them, but I tend to leave them to the end of the period. Okay, probably let's say I have to deliver a report by 12 o'clock this afternoon. I may not start until probably 10 o'clock, but that doesn't mean to affect the quality of the work really. But at the end of the day, I still have to do it because I'll be like, okay, I still have time. Let me just sleep. Let me do some of the things. So that's just it. But in a way, it's a very bad habit that someone needs to work on because you tend to make some mistake, and which we eventually tell in the quality of the work you do. So I guess, okay, that's one of those things I'm looking forward to, like working upon it. And so that's just basically it. So I've been putting a lot of effort in working towards and ensuring that I don't tend to procrastinate a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Please let's applaud to Mr. Gbemi because I believe most of us have been there. Procrastination is a word that I don't want to say on air, but we all know that word. Now, we are going to go on with the panel. Like I said, we have 3 panelists and they are all here. So I would quickly just like to give a quick introduction. I'll just throw the question to the panelists and then introduce them before they start speaking so that there will be order. So our first panelist today is Toastmaster Stallone. Toastmaster Stallone, not Sylvester Stallone, although this With the way this man, with how good this man is, he may as well just be, really. He is an entrepreneur and an educator with focus on online businesses. He has had over 19 years of corporate and entrepreneurial adventure, and he is still kicking. He is the founder of the Prosperous Trader Project, focused on helping people grow their funds while controlling 100% of the capital and keeping 100% of the profits made. Wow, really? Toastmasters alone, they keep 100% of the profits? I want to join. And he's also the one-time secretary of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters. He is a multiple winner for best speaker, best table topics, best evaluator, and he's just a person who is committed to helping. So, ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome Toastmaster Stallone. Toastmaster Stallone, your first question is, can you please run us through the anatomy of a habit?
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Abubakar. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. And fellow Toastmasters, now when we talk about the anatomy of a habit, we're actually talking about, when you break a habit into bits and pieces, what's actually involved. From tying our shoelaces to probably flying a plane to doing so many other things. We do most of these things subconsciously. And when we get to do them subconsciously, they become automatic. We start from the conscious, we start doing them subconsciously. So it becomes automatic. But we live in a changing world. And so we get to learn things faster, and then we get to do them seamlessly. When you get to that point, when you begin to do things seamlessly, I'm trying to break it, not give maybe some textbook response. When you get to that point, when you begin to do things seamlessly without thinking, it just comes out automatically. You have formed a pattern of behavior which you have repeated over and over, and due to the repetition, it has become automatic. At that point, you would say that that's a habit.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Stallone. Thank you so much for that answer. Our next panelist is Toastmaster John Onumiya. I mean, we all know him, but let me dig deep down into his own profile. Toastmaster John is the current Club Growth Director of Division F. He has participated and won numerous evaluation speech contests. He has coached multiple speech contest champions as well. He is married with 2 children. He has a master's in petroleum engineering and previously worked with African Reinsurance Corporation, where he handled oil and gas reinsurance for West Africa. Do you know what I see is basically super rich man? Toastmaster John, after this, I will come. I have a proposal that there's this oil we need to dig in Yobe. So, we have business. He is the currently he's the network marketing professional who loves reading, dancing, playing volleyball, drawing, watching movies, and meeting people. So, ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome Toastmaster John. And your first question. There's a misconception that habits cannot be eliminated, that they can only be replaced. Toastmaster John, how true is this statement?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abubakar. Thank you for relinquishing the screen for me. You asked a beautiful question. There's a conception that habits cannot be eliminated, they can only be replaced. Please, can you type in the chat box, assuming you could afford it, how many people want to join Elon Musk when he goes to Mars? Just type it in the chat box. How many of you want to join Elon Musk when he goes to Mars? Assuming you can afford it, by the way, money is not an issue. Of course, Toastmaster wrote to me, you're a daredevil, we understand you'll be #1. Thank you, Toastmaster Julia, Toastmaster Ruth. I'm saying some names I was not expecting. That's fantastic. The reason I asked that question is because as you're going to Mars, the vacuum you experience there, that's the only place you're going to experience a vacuum. On Earth, for those of us that are not as daring as some other people, you don't really experience a vacuum. What do I mean by this? You cannot just cut out a habit. Something must take its place, essentially another habit. When you say, I don't want to do anything, You have chosen something to do. That state of nothingness, as it were, you are doing something. And let me briefly explain. Assuming you start here, every little action you take will compound. So either you are getting better at what you're doing, which is what we call a habit, or you're getting worse, which would be a negative habit. You can only replace something by doing something else, or what some of us may say, we're not doing anything, which is actually doing something, right? There's no such thing as, let me just get rid of that habit. Something else will naturally take its place. A habit will always be replaced by another habit, either by choice or by a lack of choice. And my recommendation to you is, whenever you want to eliminate certain habits, like our dear friend Toastmaster Gbemi that said procrastination is one of his bad qualities, you have to decide that good habit you want to replace it with, start taking those little steps, and eventually they become an amazing habit that replaced the other one. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abubakar. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster John. Please let's applaud him. In Toastmasters, we never get tired of applauses. If you believe that you started to get tired, just use the screen, the reaction button. That's what it's there for. But be rest assured, we'll soon come back to physical meetings. So you may as well practice. All right. So our third panelist is a distinguished Toastmaster. Now, for the guests in the house, a distinguished Toastmaster basically means like professor. You know how you have BSc, MSc, PhD, and then you do your professional. So that's what a DTM is, a professor of Toastmasters. For me, I'm a level 3 in my first path. So you can say I'm a final year undergraduate student, just to put it in perspective. All right. So there's only one DTM here, so she knows herself. We all know her, but just for the sake of formality, I'm going to give her profile. So she is an adaptable and successful project manager with experience across multiple and varied projects. She's a Prince 2 practitioner and a certified project management professional. She's a dynamic entrepreneur and creative writer. She joined Toastmasters in 2015 and has served in various categories: past president, Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club president, past 18 director. She was also earned the award of a professor of Toastmasters. She's also an excellent communicator and mentor. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's welcome Toastmaster Ifeanyi Omoike. And her first question is the question reserved for professors. Toastmaster Ifeanyi, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
Please walk us through keystone habits. What exactly is a keystone habit? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Abubakar, for that warm and interesting welcome. Okay, so a keystone habit. So I'm going to ask this question. Who likes making their bed in the morning? Do you like making your bed in the morning? See, Abubakar is already shaking his head and he doesn't. Come on, guys. Do you like making your bed in the morning? No. Come on, you mean nobody likes making their bed? Okay, I can see that more of the guys are actually saying they don't like making their bed in the morning. Oh, okay, Tiam Queen, Tiam Julie. Okay, so the ladies like making their beds in the morning. Up, ladies. Okay, so a keystone habit, thank you, everyone. So a keystone habit is the kind of habit that you have that causes a chain reaction to all other habits. Like Toastmaster John was saying, that you can actually, if you're going to eliminate a habit, you need to replace it with something else. But a keystone habit is a kind of habit that you should not even eliminate at all. Because if you eliminate it, then you will have issues with other habits. So what are habits? Habits are like making your bed every morning, exercising regularly, tracking what you eat, juicing every morning, praying every morning, things that you actually do every day are habits, or even up to even tying your shoelaces. Now, an example of a keystone habit is making your bed every morning. Now, how many of you have this experience where if you didn't make it, maybe like you're working from home and you didn't make your bed that morning, and then you actually just feel disorganized. So you look at your bed and you're just looking scattered and you can't seem to do anything else for that day. It happens to me. If my bed is scattered, I just feel like, oh my God, everything around me is just disorganized. So making your bed is a keystone habit. Another keystone habit is meditation or prayer. If you meditate in the morning, you realize that during your day, you're able to actually go on and actually be successful in your day. And so that is what a keystone habit is. It's a habit that you have to do. It's a habit that will cause a chain reaction to other habits for you. And so I've given you examples of keystone habits: tracking what you eat, meditating, prayer, exercising regularly, making your bed in the morning, having family dinners. And so basically that is what keystone habit is. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please, let's applaud DTM Ifeanyi Omoeke. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we would move on to the next question, Toastmaster Stallone. How exactly do I replace an unproductive habit? How exactly do I do that? I have a bad habit and I want to replace it. I want to hear from you. How?
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Abubakar. When we talk about changing habits, the problem is that, first of all, we must understand that habits are not necessarily bad. You also do have good habits, but we're all caught in the flow, okay, of the day. And we love to just go on and on and on, because from that conscious level, we have sucked it into our subconscious level. And so it's automatic, it's easy. You sometimes wake up in the morning and you are at work even before you get up, because you already know your route, how you're going to go through, what's going to happen in the office. So you are comfortable with that. But wait, when you get to the office and your office desk has been moved from where it used to be to another place, immediately there's a disturbance inside of you. There's a dissonance. You wake up in the morning, you're about to leave your house, and then you get a phone call and they say, the route you want to pass through to your place of work is now blocked. It causes a disturbance immediately, because now you have to bring whatever is at your subconscious level. You need to bring it out to the conscious level and begin to think, how recalibrate. None of us like that. None of us. But the point is that if we have to grow, then we have to be ready for such disturbances. In fact, I tell people, let me tell you one thing you need to do if you want to change habits. Be conscious about causing disturbances. Once you're comfortable, you're in your death zone. So be conscious about, okay, I for instance, in marketing, I love to do Facebook marketing and it's been flowing. So why don't I try SMS marketing? Why don't I try email marketing? Why don't I just cause a disruption? That way you can train your mind to prepare for change when it happens. Otherwise, you get stuck. In fact, before I round off this part, let me make it clear that when somebody asks you what your habit is, the person is actually asking you, where are you stuck? If you don't like that place, you have to create a disturbance to get out of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Stallone. So chaos is important in actually replacing an unproductive habit. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are taking notes. Yeah. If you're not, okay, there's a recording, but you have to pay me for it before I give you access to record, because you are not paying attention when the panel was going on. Our next panelist is Toastmaster John. Toastmaster John, I have a question for you. And the question is this: how do I identify my productive habits, and why do I need to do that? Why do I have to assess myself and look at my productive habits? Why should I do that?
Thank you so much. I have two wonderful kids. My son is 4 years old and my beautiful daughter is 2 years old. And the longer they spend with us, the more they become like us. You can see traits that I have in my son, in my daughter, traits they picked up from my wife, and a lot of traits in my daughter that she picked up from my son. The reason you need to know your habits and study them and how to do it is because they will affect your life, but you need to study them because they'll ultimately shape whatever direction you want to go to. My daughter now, if she does not want to be like my son, has to study her personality. The first thing you must do is study yourself and study the people you want to be like. If you don't realize that you are very broke and you want to be wealthy, you will not know that you need to be friends with Toastmaster Abubakar. If you don't realize that you don't know a lot of people personally and you need to use social media, you will not know that you need to be friends with Toastmaster Stallone. If you don't realize that you need to improve the way you look, you don't realize that you need to be friends with our lovely Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Juliet. Study yourself and study the people you want to be like. A number of people, they want to be wealthy, but they are studying people that are broke. It doesn't make sense. You become more like what you study. Study yourself and study the people you want to be like. And one key way to know if you're improving is track what you're doing. Toastmaster, if I mentioned it's our own DTM. Track what you're doing. Track what you're eating. Track how much you're making. Track any metric. And when you start tracking, you realize, wow, I'm not doing what I need to be doing, or I'm not doing enough of it. It's said that most planes are actually in the right track about 2% of the time. Most of the time, they're adjusting. Study, track. It will help you know the habits you have. It will help you go towards the habits you want to attain, and it will keep you adjusting when you drift off. Over to you, Toastmaster Abubakar.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster John. Please, let's give him a round of applause. These are interesting takes. Thank you so much. Our next question is directed to DTM Ifeanyi. Toastmaster Ifeanyi got her DTM last year, and ever since then I've been saying DTM Ifeanyi because I can't TM. No, it's so wrong, man. DTM Ifeanyi is the right thing. So DTM Ifeanyi, my question to you is, after I've changed that habit that I replaced, how do I sustain it? Usually people go from an unproductive habit to a productive one, right? Now, if I've managed to change my habit, for example, I'm a big smoker, and then I've learned that whenever I feel like smoking, I should just go and eat food, right? How do I sustain that habit now?
Okay, so thank you, Tim Abubakar. That is a very interesting question. And so it's often said that it takes 21 days to actually make a habit. So even if I started today, I didn't smoke today, it takes at least 21 days to be able to say, okay, you've been able to master a habit. Now, there are different ways that you can actually sustain this habit. There's somebody, Benjamin Hardy. Yeah, I love reading Benjamin Hardy's books. And he wrote this book, Willpower is Not Enough. And he was talking about how even if you have willpower, you have to make sure that your environment is in alignment with your willpower. So like if you say that you don't want to continue to smoke and then you actually stop smoking, yeah, Benjamin Hardy, you say that you don't want to smoke anymore. Now, if you surround yourself with people that smoke, of course you're going to smoke one day. Of course you are going to smoke one day. And so one major thing that you need to do is to watch your environment. Now, watching your environment is number one, being particular about the people that you relate with. So if you still continue to relate with smokers, then you will also smoke. So you have to stay away from people that would make you do that thing that you're running away from. You have to stay around people that will help you to sustain your habits. So anybody that you know that would make you not do that, then you will not stay away from that person. Second thing is, definitely don't have a cigarette next to you. Or let's say you're trying to like stop eating cake or trying to stop eating sugar. Like for me, I don't have any sweet things. I don't have sweet things in my fridge. I make sure that I don't keep sweet things around me so that I'm not tempted to eat something sweet. And even when my brother might bring something sweet, I'll be like, just keep that thing away from me. So if I keep on having sweet things around me, then of course I'm going to eat something sweet one day. I'll be tempted to eat something sweet. So that's also a major thing about your environment. Whatever it is that you're exactly, thank you, TM Julia, the power of avoidance. Whatever it is that you want to master, whatever it is you want to stop doing and start doing, make sure you don't have that thing around you. Make sure you don't go to buy that thing. Stay away from stores that make you have to get that thing. And so, yeah, that's how you can actually sustain your habit, by making sure align your environment with your decision. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster DTM Ifeanyi. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so we'll have the last round of questions, the final questions for the panelists, but I've been notified that we can have an additional table topics. So we will have one table topics right now before the last round of questions, then we'll have the last one at the end. And Toastmaster Olanrewaju Lawal, you volunteered earlier, so can we please have you? Apologies for the impromptu notice.
Okay, shoot. Let me take it.
All right. Toastmaster Lawal, what is your keystone habit?
Okay. I will not relinquish this table topic that has been given to me. Happy. Good morning once again, fellow guests. My keystone habit is to be a workaholic, and I need to be more socially responsible, not to be workaholic. So that's my keystone, which I'm trying to balance the stride. Working from home, I've been working around the clock. I'm managing related projects, and I had to juggle in between hours, and I forgot to eat, and I've not done properly in terms to eat well, which will be a bad habit. But the major keystone is workaholic. I work around the clock. Now, antidotes to these keystone habits, which I need to balance the stride, is to ensure that I do exercises to mitigate some other temptations around me, not just to eat junks food, which are bad habits, so that my keystone habits can be managed in between, which is being workaholic. I work around the clock. I hear someone talking about making their beds. I got what the bed is all about because I work within the software space. So I have a lot of software engineers, and at times I juggle in between several retrospect meetings, and I need to meet this demand. However, I need to be socially responsible in order to manage my keystone habits. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Please let's give him a round of applause to Toastmaster Lawal. That was an absolutely great answer to this question. Now, the final round of questions, fellow Toastmasters and guests, distinguished guests. Let me disrupt the order here, right? Toastmaster Stallone, let me disrupt the order so that I can change my habits. DTM Ifeanyi, please answer this question, the last question, the 1 minute question. And this question is the same for all the panelists, please. We want practical tips from your own experience, right? Developing your most productive habits. The practical tips from your life now. While developing your own most productive habits to date. Please share it with us in 1 minute.
Okay, thank you, Tim Abubakar, for breaking your habits. Okay, so my most productive habit. Now, my most productive habit, my keystone habit is prayer. For me, it is prayer. So yeah, I mean, I'm a Christian, and so I pray, right? But I noticed that when I really started praying, so I pray every day, but I noticed that when I really started taking prayer every morning, the difference between praying every day and actually making sure that when you wake up, you pray or you meditate and all that. When I actually started praying every morning and taking it seriously, what I've noticed was that for me, the keystone habit affected other areas of my life. Now, if you're trying to develop a habit, for me, what I had to do was I would say, okay, I would do 10 minutes first, and I'll make sure I stick to 10 minutes, and I will do 15 minutes. So developing a habit, you don't have to do that thing for like 30 minutes or start it with 1 hour. Start with a bit, maybe like 2 minutes, then 3 minutes, then 4 minutes. And before you know it, you will not master that habit. So don't try to do it so much at the same time. Do it a bit today, do it a bit tomorrow, do it a bit next tomorrow. And of course, make sure that your environment aligns with your decision. So yeah, that's what I do.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, DTM Ifeanyi. So you heard her, bit by bit, easy does it. And our next panelist, Toastmaster Stallone, please take this question, same question.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Abubakar. Okay, so for me, basically, I just know that I'll give you two scenarios. The first one is work. I used to work like for 2-3 years, my laptop never went off. I would just hibernate, I get back home, I start working and all of that. And so, but I needed to break that habit. So what I did was I had to befriend people who closed at 5. So when it's 5, they walk into the office and say, Stallone, it's time to go. And there's this sound when you close your laptop. I developed a fondness for that sound. So I just closed the laptop. I said, okay, let's go. It was really hard. But let me tell you one thing that actually helped. I took ill for like a month. I didn't go to work. Nothing happened. The job continued. And so that was a turning point for me. Then the last bit is movies. I love to watch movies when I relax, when I want to relax. But then I find out sometimes it eats into your time. So what I do, I cut off the subscription immediately. I need to create that disruption. That's what I do. Until when I'm ready. Okay, so I have to stop here. Thank you, Abubakar.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So you heard the man. Befriend the people whose habits you like to adopt. And now, Toastmaster John, our final panelist, our final question. Please go ahead.
Toastmaster Abubakar, let me confirm. You said give practical tips for building habits, correct?
Yes, your most productive habits.
Thank you.
And let me, by the way, before you go ahead, Toastmaster John has a very interesting habit. Are you going to talk about that today?
Yes, I will.
Great.
Please, can people put in the chat box what time they go to bed as I continue my story? I used to be horrible at going to bed and I needed to relinquish that habit. I used to go to bed at 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. Last night, I went to bed late and I went to bed at 9:30 a.m. Here are my tips. Schedule what you want to do. Start small and make it public. My bedtime now is 8 p.m. If I go to bed late, it's like last night, 9:30 p.m., 9 p.m. That's my keystone habit. When I go to bed on time, I wake up at 3 a.m. Or if I go to bed late, I wake up at 4 a.m. Because of my keystone habits, I'm up. I'm reading. I read till about 5:15. I exercise for 45 minutes. After that, and my day begins. Because when my two beautiful children wake up, I have no clue what's going to happen for the rest of the day. But by the time they wake up, when I follow my keystone habits in bed by 8, the rest of the day flows smoothly. And friends check up because I've made it public and they tell me, is he really in bed at 8? And that really helps. Schedule it, start small, make it public. Over to you, Toastmaster Abubakar.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster John. Thank you so much for that answer. When I heard it, and I sent him a message at like 10 p.m. because that's like my regular time, and he didn't respond to like it. I woke up in the morning and saw something around 4 a.m. I'm like, whoa. And so we got talking and I learned about his interesting habit, and it's actually a very good habit. And he beats the 5 a.m. club because, you know, he wakes up before 5. So 4 a.m. club. Well done. So just to recap, we talked about the anatomy of a habit, how to replace an unproductive habit by Toastmaster Stallone. He gave us the breakdown. He told us to actually join people whose habits you want to adopt. Disturbance, cause a bit of a chaos in your life. That's what makes you aware. You know, habits are basically your brain going on overdrive. When you do something once, twice, thrice, your brain now makes it automatic so that it doesn't have to worry itself again. So you need to disturb that comfort that your brain has in order to actually go on to other things. We talked about keystone habits by identifying. We talked about identifying productive habits, because when you keep track of these habits, that's actually when you learn to build upon them. And then finally, as Mr. John talked about how to eliminate, how to actually replace bad habits, and then how to sustain a productive habit. So thank you so much for the panelists. It's been fun. I've actually learned so much. Thank you so much for your judgments, your wise opinions, your expert take on these matters. Thank you so much. And also thank you for agreeing to be a part of this. And then we will round up with the final table topics. Now, I've had 2 volunteers, so please give me let me pick someone from the guests. Let's give the guests a chance to speak. Who do I see? Aklive Holmes, are you there? Clive Holmes? No? We have Anthony Kentebe. Are you there?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
All right.
Morning.
Thank you so
Good
much,
morning
Anthony.
to everyone.
Good morning. Have you been listening in?
Oh, yes, I have.
All right. Thank you so much. So my question to you is this: you have 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay.
Please summarize what you've learned from the panel.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Once again, my name is Anthony Kentebe, and I'm a guest. Actually, I was invited by Ms. Ruth Ijama. Today, I know they've talked about habits a lot and how to relinquish habits and how to also build on new habits that I think they use the term keystone habit. Yes. So that's what I've learned so far here. And it's been a very interactive and very impressive session too. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. Please let's applaud him. Thank you. Thank you so much. Prospective Toastmaster. I like to refer to guests as prospective Toastmasters because at the end of a meeting, they usually want to join. So I hope to see you as a member. All right, so this brings to the end of our session. Regrettably, I wish we could go on, but the gems that were dropped by Toastmaster John, Toastmaster Kalon, DTM Ifeanyi.
You're on mute.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. So thank you so much for this. And we look forward to having another panel or another session that talks about something very productive. And thank you to all the table topic speakers as well. Thank you to the audience for being good spots. Your camera were open. I really like that. I love when I see people's faces. It just gives me it tells me that I'm not alone, and it kind of gives me that feeling of being in a physical meeting. So thank you for that. And also for the guests, thank you for joining in so far and being here. This is just one part of we have a lot more coming on. We have prepared speeches and we have evaluations. So please stick around and then have a fun meeting. So I hand over back the control to the Toastmaster of the day, my very good friend, the fine, pretty Toastmaster with blonde hair. All right, Toastmaster Juliet, thank you so much. Take over.
Thank you, TM Gimba. Can we please give him a round of applause? I mean, this session was amazing. I almost did not want him to relinquish his control of the lectern. Thank you so much to the panelists, to the table topic speaker, and of course, our interesting table topic master. Thank you so much. I learned, I laughed, and I learned again. I'm going to adopt new habits. It's going to be hard for some because old habits, they stick to you like glue. And like Ifeanyi said, DTM Ifeanyi said, you need 21 days. Sometimes I struggle for day one, but let's see how it goes. I'll learn and I will try and practice. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for this section. This is the time to vote. Can we vote? Can we put up the poll for voting? So please take a minute or a second to vote quickly who your favorite table topic speaker was. After this one, we'll put up the poll for the panelists, I believe.
I think before we vote, we need to know whether the speakers all spoke within time.
Thank you so much, TM Lawrence. Honestly, they did because I was checking the timer, but then let the timer do the work. Can you please confirm that everybody spoke within their time frame? Thank you, TM Lawrence, for that. I actually skipped that.
All the table topic speakers spoke within time, except from aspiring Toastmaster Tony, who spoke for 31 seconds. Also, our panelists were all within time. The first question, they were all within time, but the second question, they exceeded the 2 minutes. time, but they were still within the 30 seconds grace. So yeah, I can say everybody was within time.
So TM Ruth, if I understand what you're saying, one table topic person was disqualified.
Yes, Tony.
So thank you for that. So do we do the poll? Do we vote again? Because we've already voted. TM Gimba?
The poll is up.
The poll is for the panelists, so they can go on.
Yeah.
So please vote for your favorite panelists.
Wow, so I can't vote.
Then TM Ruth, while we are doing that, are we going to relinquish? So, Gamari, I hope you are noticing that I'm using the word of the day, relinquish.
Yes, I am.
So are we going to relinquish the other pool and do it again?
Yes, okay, for table topics, we only have TM Gbemi and TM Larry. So we could just
but the first is vote again, right? Yes, so please relinquish the other result and put up the poll again. Gamarian?
I'm taking notes.
Thank you. So let's we still have the third speaker here.
So can we just kindly vote for the first two?
And ignore and skip or relinquish TM Anthony.
Yes, TM Anthony has decided to relinquish his vote.
Okay, so we'll go for TM Gbemi and TM Olari. Done. Awesome. So by way of notes, thank you for participating wholeheartedly in this meeting. I'm not at the end yet, but I'm just appreciating you. So when I appreciate you, it means you should give more. So I need you to be more appreciative, to be more participative, because I like what you have been doing so far. This is to everybody in the audience. Thank you. Are we done with the voting? Because I can't see the pop-up my screen. Awesome. So now we're going to go to the evaluation section, and we have an amazing person, the person of TM Anthony, anchoring this session. TM Anthony is the president of Kildare Toastmasters Club, or Kildare if you're Nigerian. I'm sure he understands that. And he's been a Toastmaster for 7 years. I call him a veteran because I have just done 2 years. So when somebody has done 7 years, you need to duck your hat, right? He loves running, and he loves a football club that some people hate. I don't care about any football club. So if you hate Arsenal, it's on you. He loves Arsenal. So please join me and welcome TM Anthony to the virtual lecture.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Can you bear with me for 1 minute?
So I would, he has relinquished the lectern, so I'll take it. And when he comes back, I will relinquish it back to him. Because sometimes you have to relinquish, take back, relinquish, take back, relinquish, take back. It happens in real life, really. So just so we know.
You see what you are doing, Juliet.
What am I doing? Tell me. Oh my God. I have a 17-year-old that is very competitive. I'm sure if he was in this meeting, he will use relinquish in like 2,000 ways. TM Anthony, please, the lecture is yours.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster. Our topic session was absolutely splendid. So exciting, and we learned so much. Our first speaker, Toastmaster Gbemi, he made it very clear his problem with procrastination. And he mentioned it a few times. He started beautifully, he finished beautifully. He was quite composed, and he used lovely hand gestures. I really liked his presentation. My recommendation would be to use Toastmasters. I procrastinate, but I'm going to use Toastmaster to abolish that habit. I felt his point was very, very good. It was powerful. But if he had used Toastmaster, and I would recommend to use Toastmaster the next time in terms of advising we as fellow Toastmasters, the power of Toastmasters. I say well done to you, TM Gimba. I enjoyed your table topics. Our next speaker was TM Olagwabi. He spoke beautifully, and I really liked your stage presence. You stood up, and you were starting getting your hand gestures going. You spoke about working early and getting up early and working around the clock. But you made your powerful point, do exercise. So I felt it was very positive. You powered what your issue was about these negative habits, and you put in a powerful recommendation, exercise. Because you were standing up, you got great presence with your hands. So your hand gestures were reinforcing what you were saying. And as you spoke, you got more power in your message, and you left us with a very, very clear message to take away from this meeting. And at the end, you left the stage by saying, thank you. So I applaud you for your powerful message to us today. The one recommendation I would say is your light. You were coming across dark, a little too dark. We would like to have seen your facial expression and the power of that. And of course, smiling, this art of smiling that we want to try and bring out in Toastmasters, as we were advised earlier on by our fellow Toastmasters, that humor, Toastmasters with humor, is the key to life. And our last speaker, which is our prospective speaker, TM Anthony, he said he's taking away this beautiful thing of keystone habits. And he introduced himself so beautifully. I am Toastmaster Anthony. And he made it very clear that he was here with a mission to learn, and a very simple, because he said, in summary, this is what I've learned. I've learned this beautiful thing of keystone habits, because once we identify habits and put that beautiful word in, keystone, we're on our way, because it's all about the keys to life. And once we recognize these habits that we've got, then we're onto this powerful vision of a beautiful life. And we do that in Toastmasters. So Anthony, TM Anthony, you're going to be a very powerful Toastmaster. As TM Gimba said, a prospective Toastmaster. That's how we categorize. So the three speakers that I heard were beautiful. They presented a beautiful points, and it was a difficult subject matter, this business of habits, but very powerful. Well done by Gimba, because once we understand this business of habits that we're carrying with us every day of our life, once we understand them and recognize and drive forward, then we're on to a great adventure in our life, and we go on to wonderful and more greater possibilities. And in summary, I would just say, it's this business about stopping yourself during the course of the day and saying, what would a wise man do now? I'm living in the past. Stop. What would a wise man do now? And then go forward. Or 2 hours later, if we find ourselves living in the future, we say, stop. What would a wise man do now? He would live in the future, because the wise man always lives in the future. I would say, well done, everyone, and thank you very much. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster, Madam Topics Master.
Thank you, TM Anthony. Thank you so much for that. And I was all high energy when you started speaking. Then the next 1 hour, but I didn't sleep. You stopped just in time to keep me awake. So keystone habit, when you want people to calm down, speak like TM Anthony. And thank you, TM Anthony. Can we give him a round of applause for that? That was an awesome evaluation. I learned a lot from the evaluation as well. Now the panel section, we're going to call on TM Chidi to evaluate that section. Is TM Chidi in the house, please? TM Chidi?
Yes, thank you most graciously, the Toastmaster of the day. First for relinquishing the control of the virtual lectern to me. I hope we will not get into a competitive activity on the use of the word of the day here. Wow. The table topic session / panel session was both refreshing and engaging. Toastmaster Abubakar Gimba, well done. Your facilitation skills was definitely phenomenal. You ensured that the attention of both the audience and the panelists were engaged throughout. And you definitely showed your listening skills by reiterating the highlights of everything that both the panelists and the table topic speakers mentioned in the course of their speaking. I loved that. And I loved how your questions aligned with the theme of the meeting, let's go. And the questions were all around habits, the good ones, the bad ones, the ones we need to let go, and the ones we need to change. Something I need you to work on is to not be a lazy speaker. We need to relinquish this habit of using the short form of the terms, distinguished Toastmaster and Toastmaster, especially when we are speaking. So instead of saying it's Ifeanyi, it would have sounded better if you said distinguished Toastmaster Ifeanyi, Toastmaster John, Toastmaster Gbemi, Toastmaster Juliet. It shows that you are a proactive speaker and it has a better sound and a zing to it to your listeners. Something else you would need to work on is when you have a panel session, it's best to first do the introduction of all your panelists before giving them questions to answer. It ensures that the panel session is smooth. As against introducing a panelist, assigning a question, and then breaking that flow by then doing the introduction of the second panelist. So make sure that your 3 or 4 or whatever number of panelists you have, introduce everybody before you assign questions to them. Otherwise, great job. And thank you for taking us through a session that ensured that we learned and we definitely did have fun. Ralph C. Smedley, the founder of Toastmasters, has said that we learn best in moments of enjoyment. Now to our panelists. Toastmasters Talon, I loved how you spoke and how you addressed every question that were assigned to you. You made sure that your gestures were on point, your coordination of your speeches, it flowed smoothly and we're able to follow you. What I would love to see you do better is to ensure that you pay closer attention to your gestures and the placement of your camera. At some point while you were speaking, because the way your camera was positioned, while you were doing gestures, your hand was basically covering the camera and it was blurred. So it covered your face and we could not see that animated look on your face. Beyond that, your use of pauses was good. And I tried at some point to also catch your eye. It's best to look straight into the camera so that everybody who's looking at the screen would catch your eye contact. The mistake some of us most sometimes is you try to look at the audience, look at the pictures or the camera, just look at the camera. That way you're looking into the eyes of your audience. Well, well done on the pointers you gave. I will definitely not forget that. Toastmaster John Onumia. Wow, what can I say? You certainly demonstrated audience awareness in both questions. The first question, you asked a question and you asked the audience to put their answers on the chat box. And based on the feedback you got, you delivered your speech. And it definitely showed that you had audience awareness, you were engaging, you made reference to Toastmaster Gbemi's speech. Like, okay, yeah, so you definitely did listen while Toastmaster Gbemi was speaking. You used personal stories when you talked about your son and your daughter. Even those who don't have children can relate, because everybody has a relative who either has a child or you have a child in you. Somehow we have kids in our family and we know how they are. Thank you for also giving us a keystone habit and a habit to break out of. We need to relinquish apparently the habit of going to bed late. Somebody like me, you're speaking like, okay, let's see how we can go with this. Well done, Toastmaster John. Distinguished Toastmaster Ifeanyi. Thank you. You had a charming smile on your face when you were introduced, and you had that smile. I'm sure you definitely picked that from Toastmaster John, because he also had a smile while he was speaking. Your smile was charming and it was warm. So everybody, I definitely wanted to listen to you speak. You drew me in with your smile. You drew me in with the content of your speech. Your speech flowed smoothly. It was a panel session, but each time you spoke, you ensured that you had an opening, a body, and a closing. And I think that is something that we need to pay close attention to. Whether we're speaking for 1 minute or 2 minutes, we need to make sure that our speech is complete. Thank you, Toastmaster Ifeanyi. I particularly also loved how you created audience awareness. You started with a question, and then your question created some sort of records on the chat box. People coming up with their own feedback, and you made reference to the chat. That is a skill that very few people have been able to master. You're in the middle of a speech, and then somebody puts up something in the chat box. You're able to just pick it and weave it into your speech. Well done. Some person probably would have gotten disoriented or would definitely not even pay attention to that chat that was put there. But you brought it in because it added value to love for you to work on. It is the use of pauses. I know, yes, it's a panel session and you were trying to put your thoughts out there, but we get to insert pauses because you're making certain points that once your audience or your audience are so enraptured with what you're saying that they just want to soak in everything you're saying. The one way to make sure that we only listen and taking everything and not miss out is to infuse pauses so that everything you're saying sinks in before some other points come through. Aside from that, the entire panelists, it was as though you had a rehearsal with Toastmaster Abubakar before you came on our screens this morning. Because trust me, I have a note in front of me I should show you, and I have penned down a lot of pointers from our 3 panelists. And Toastmaster Abubakar, you certainly made sure that you brought out the best from our panelists. Well done. Keep it up. And thank you for taking us through the session of helping us identify habits that we need to relinquish, habits that we need to grow. Something that I want everybody, if you did not take this down before, take it down. If you want to develop a new habit, he said you need to study and track. If you want to grow, you should be ready for disturbances. And to develop new habits, schedule it, start small, make it public. And beyond that, make sure that you have an accountability partner, someone who is in your corner, Who has the habits that you want to develop? Beyond that, do not forget of avoidance. Stay away from the environment that will suck you back into the negative habit or the least favorite habit that you want to let go of. And put yourself in an environment that will facilitate development and the growth and sustainability of the new habits. Thank you so much, everyone. Even our listeners, you were a great sport, making sure that the chat box was on fire, everybody was participating. It definitely speaks to the credence of the facilitation of our panel coordinator and our panelists. Thank you and well done, everyone. Madam Toastmaster of the Day, I relinquish control of the virtual lectern back to you.
Thank you, TM Chidi. Can we distinguished Toastmaster Chidi? You have to learn. You have to learn. Thank you for relinquishing the lectern. I have to use the word, not like I was happy you're relinquishing. So please, can we give her a round of applause? I think that was a very detailed evaluation, very detailed. And permit me to say, TM Chidi, that you're going to do the same on my role at the end of this meeting, after I relinquish the control, of course, to the president of the club. So thank you so much. We're supposed to be on break at this time. We're going to skip that because of time, so we can cover as much as possible. So we'll go to the very next segment, which is the prepared speech section. I was going to use an acronym, but I remember that we shouldn't say TM, but Toastmaster. So our very first speaker for this segment is Toastmaster Dara. Now, Toastmaster Dara is going to be evaluated by Toastmaster Lawrence. So I'd like to welcome Toastmaster Lawrence to the virtual lectern to use the speech objective of Toastmaster Dara.
Thank you very much, Juliet, TM Juliet, for relinquishing the lectern to me. Now, Toastmaster Dara, you are expected to speak from Project Manual Innovative Planning, Level 1, Project 3, on the speech titled, The Historical Importance. You are expected to integrate the evaluation report of your last speech given on 6th February to this speech. I wish you good luck. Toastmaster Dara, over to you.
Okay. Sorry, apologies, my microphone was on mute. Thank you, Toastmaster Lawrence. I'd like to welcome Toastmaster Dara. We know her profile, so I'm not going to bore you, but let's keep our hearts and our minds open for today's prolific speaker. Toastmaster Dara, please, the virtual lectern is all yours.
Chief Simon Adebo, the former University of Lagos Chancellor, said that the present is the past undergoing modification. Harry S. Truman, the 33rd President of the United States, also said that the only thing new in this world is the history you do not know. So, did you know that Lekki in Lagos State, according to the Awolowo Institute of Government and Public Policy, is named after a 17th century Portuguese slave trader called Mr. Lekki, spelled L-E-C-Q-U-I. His grave is at Lekki. You can visit it if you go there. Or did you know that Eko is the Benin word for camp or barracks? And Lagos got that name from Oba Ado, one of the Benin kings. You know, you didn't know that? What about in 1861, Sir Robert Payne, the court registrar of Lagos State, recorded that there was a lion roaming around Tinubu Square. So lions and other animals roamed around Lagos then. You didn't know that? Or that Akwangbo in Lagos Island got its name because the then residents could not pronounce or describe the colony's first acting governor's red beard. His name was William McCroskey, but they had a difficulty in pronouncing or describing his ginger-colored hair. So it became Akwongbon. None of these stories, you've not heard any of these stories, clearly. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guest. These are a few colorful snippets of Nigeria's history that most people have not heard of. And I'm sure from your different areas, you can tell me other stories which I haven't heard of. Sadly, history in Nigeria is undermined. During my time in secondary school, it was an elective. And even then, key topics were omitted. We didn't learn about the Biafran War. Unfortunately, in 2010, the federal government subsumed history into social studies. Thankfully, today, the government has reversed that policy. And in 2019, they actually made history a standalone subject. But you might wonder, why should you study the past? I mean, the past is the past. It should remain in the past. But I'll give you some reasons. And I'll also quote from Marcus Garvey, the famous Jamaican activist, who said, "A people without knowledge of their past history, origins, and culture are like trees without roots." So, one reason why history is important, because it keeps you from repeating bad mistakes. I mean, we've all had those incidents in our lives when we've done things and we think, oh gosh, we wish we could do it differently. But the only way you can do it differently if you are in a similar situation is if you study what you did before in the past, you learn from it, and you apply those lessons to the new situation. I mean, it might be uncomfortable to revisit the past, but that's the only way you can learn. A definition of insanity is doing the same thing over again and expecting to get a different result. A former governor of Lagos State, Fashola, said, "Nigerians are living on a diet of broken dreams." I mean, we see the Nigerian situation. You are eating the same food that has no nutritional content, and you expect to develop and be strong. You can't eat sugar and expect you're going to be healthy. That is the Nigerian situation. We have not learned from our mistakes, and we will keep on seeing the same scenarios, situations, problems, conflicts arising. It's important to learn from your history. If not, you will repeat the mistakes of your past. Another reason why history is so important is because it gives you valuable experiences and insights to share with other people. Psychology Today in 2013 published an article detailing how remembering the past helps to improve your memory. But it also helps you do things in a way that changes, like it changes the trajectory of your future. And it also gives you valuable experiences to share with other people. Some of you might know that, like when I give speeches, they're based on true stories. I mean, when I talk about these things, it's funny. The time a soldier pointed a gun in my face, I was like, "I'm going to shoot you." Or the time I almost got arrested because they thought I was smoking in an airplane bathroom. The only reason I was able to remember those stories or events was because I was journaling. I remembered and I wrote them down, and I would recommend journaling because you end up forgetting. Because you end up forgetting, when you have a written record of things, it's a way to preserve the memory. Yes, when I talked about these stories or these events, they were funny, but I hope my listeners got some valuable insights into them. Namely, never argue with a man that is holding a gun, firstly. And next time you want to enter an airplane bathroom, please make sure the person that came out before you was not smoking when he was inside. But when it happened to me, then it wasn't funny. But now I can look back and laugh at it. And obviously, there were lessons to be learned. And that is what studying the past does. Whenever you do not share your experiences, your past experiences, you rob other people from the valuable insights they can get. Share your past to help somebody else's future. Remember, your past represents the building blocks of your future. Also remember that those who do not Again, remember the past are doomed to repeat the mistakes it was filled with. And finally, remember that the sum total of all your past experiences, your history, they work together to shape the person you are, the Toastmaster. Thank you.
Please, let's give Dara, Toastmaster Dara, a round of applause. That was amazing. That was amazing. Your speech drew me in. And I remember a quote I've heard about experience. Experience not being the best teacher, but evaluated experience being the best teacher. That is one of the reasons people repeat the same mistakes over and over and over and over again, because they don't learn from their experience. Thanks for that, TM Dara. And thanks for letting me know Akbongbon is not a Yoruba word. I used to wonder what it meant in Yoruba. Thanks for that history lesson. Next up, we're going to call upon our second speaker, TM Queen. But TM Queen will be evaluated by TM Gbemi. I'd like to welcome TM Gbemi to the virtual lecture. TM Gbemi, please.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So TM Queen will be giving a speech from the project Persuasive Influence, level 3, project 1. The objective of our speech is stated thus. The purpose of this project is for the member to identify his or her primary leadership style or styles. Second objective is that the purpose of this speech is for the members to share some of the aspects of his or her primary leadership style, to discuss leadership style in general. Sam Queen, I wish you all the best in your speech. Over to you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, TM Toastmaster Gbemi. Toastmaster Queen needs no introduction, so I'll welcome her to the virtual lecture. The lecture is all yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Are you a leader? What type of leader are you? Or do you even consider yourself to be a leader? If you don't consider yourself to be a leader, it could be due to 2 reasons. 1, you don't know your leadership style yet. Or 2, you are here at Toastmasters to build your leadership skills. And congratulations, you are at the right place, because the Toastmaster motto is where leaders are made. Growing up, I never thought I could be a leader, because I thought a leader has to be a man, has to be feared and respected. A leader has to dictate to people what to do. And growing up, I was a little girl and there was no way I could ever become a man. And I couldn't dictate to people what to do, well, except to my dolls. And they didn't even listen to me. They didn't stand when I told them to stand. So I gave up. I had no dream of being a leader. However, as I've grown up, I have realized that this leadership style that I got from society is called the authoritative leadership style, and is one of the 8 leadership styles according to Toastmasters International. There are other leadership styles such as coaching style, democratic style, which I found out to be my leadership style, and also bureaucratic leadership style. There is no leadership style that is better than the other. They all have their benefits and they work in different contexts. They have their pros and their cons. And the good thing is you are not tied to any leadership style. You can adapt your leadership style according to the context. And one context we find ourselves is in Nigeria. And so I got curious, what type of leadership style is needed in Nigeria, especially in terms of public service? And I found that there are 2 leadership styles that have worked. Now, this is just 2 examples. I'm sure there are other leadership styles that work. But I found 2 leadership styles that have worked in public service in Nigeria, which I will share with you. Now, please note, this is not a political piece. This is not a campaign. It just happens that these leaders have worked in public service and so they have occupied political offices. The first of that is visionary leadership style. In visionary leadership, The leader has to have a vision, a place that he can see and take everyone to. With visionary leadership, a leader has to be able to communicate clearly the vision that he has so that everyone is able to see and work towards it. In this style, the vision unites and inspires people towards action. And one person that has demonstrated this leadership style is former governor of Cross River State, Donald Duke. Among his goals, among his vision for the state when he became a governor in 1999 was to make that state a tourist attraction. And during his reign, the Calabar Carnival was started, which has been running for years now. And also the Budukato Ranch was renovated. And even though it's been 14 years since he stopped being the governor of that state, since his tenure ended, the people of that state still run with that vision. They still aspire and they still work to make and maintain that state as a tourist attraction. Now, this visionary style still has its downside. And one of that is that people can get so focused on the future that they fail and they overlook the present, and therefore they don't create a step or a plan of how to get from the present to the future. Another leadership style that has worked in Nigeria is the coaching leadership style. With the coaching leadership style, the coach is your supporter. He mentors you, he supports your growth, your development, and your achievement of your goals. With the coaching leadership, there's not too much, there's not a lot of talking. The coach doesn't tell you what to do. Instead, he listens or she listens and encourages you by their presence and their support. Now, who do you think in Nigeria has displayed this leadership style? You can chat, you can add your comments on your suggestions or your ideas in the comments or in the chat. Who do you think in Nigeria has demonstrated this type of leadership? I can give a clue. It was in the presidency. Okay, wow, correct, okay. One person for me that has demonstrated this leadership, according to Julia got it right, the right answer in my speech is former President Olusegun Obasanjo. During his tenure, as a civilian president, I don't know about his military role, he was able to empower his followers, which were also leaders in their own offices. He empowered and coached Dr. Kondre Iweala to wipe off, and she was able to wipe off some of Nigerians' debts. Dr. Obi Kwesili was able to improve the transparency in the solid mineral industry. He also empowered the late Dr. Dora Kinyuli, who was able to sanitize the food and drug industry. And also he empowered Malam Nuhu Ribadu, who was able to curb financial crimes as the head of EFCC. These are people that he coached and he empowered them to run with their goals and to run and achieve them. Now, as amazing as this leadership style is, the caveat is that the people that you lead, the people that you coach, have to have a sense of direction, have to have a sense of purpose and a growth mindset. And also this leadership style can take a long time to be effective. Leadership is all around us in different forms and exists in different ways. Back to the two reasons I shared at the beginning. If you don't consider yourself a leader, take the Toastmaster assessment test and discover your leadership style. If you're here at Toastmasters to build your leadership skills, join the Exco group where you can play different roles and build your skills faster. Leadership is very important in society. So I would like to encourage you to be fervent in your pursuit of leadership. According to the American author and renowned leadership expert, John Maxwell, leadership, everything rises and falls on leadership. The Toastmaster.
Please clap for Team Toastmaster Queen. She has relinquished the lectern. Thank you, Team Queen. I thought I was about to distract you, so I had to hold myself. Apologies for that. As a Toastmaster of the day, I should display some leadership style, like authoritarian, like democratic, visionary, exactly. I think I exhibited visionary at the beginning, but you'll tell me later because I wanted us to laugh and have fun and learn. So thank you so much for that. We have a scribe in the house, in the person of Toastmaster John. I'll read the episode later. At this point, we would have to call for votes. But before then, the timer, I have learned from the last round by TM Lawrence. Thanks for your lecture on timing. Can the timer please check if both speakers, TM Toastmaster Dara and Toastmaster Queen, if they spoke within the time allotted?
They're on time.
Awesome. Thank you, Toastmaster Gimba. This is the time to vote. Please vote your favorite speaker with regards to the project of today. While you're voting, I'll just read through the scribe by Toastmaster John. Thank you for this, please. Okay. That's it. Toastmaster Gimba, is the voting over?
Just a few seconds. Okay, it's over now.
Awesome. Thank you for being my eyes on the other side. But we're going to call for the evaluation. I mean, this is another important part of every Toastmasters meeting because you have to know how you fared, what you did right, and the areas you can improve upon. And I'll call on TM Lawrence first to evaluate Toastmaster Dara.
Thank you, TM Juliet Okene, for relinquishing the lectern to me. Over to you, TM Dara Lanlehine. I want to appreciate your speech, the historical importance, and I want to say that you really applied the feedback given to you in your last speech to this speech. Your audio was excellent. I heard you clearly. Your usage of pause, sorry. Go and give it to Mama. Sorry. I'm sorry for that interruption. Your usage of pause was very good. That helped us to assimilate the historical facts you were throwing at us. And then you made reference to authority for those that would like to fact check. So, and also I would like to say that I like the way you made good use of your hands while gesticulating, and you appeared very comfortable with the audience. Your eye contact on the camera was on point. What I would like you to improve on is this: you were standing, delivering the speech, but because your camera was somehow down, you are looking down, you are slouching. So I think maybe in your next speech, you can bring your camera up to your chest level so that standing position will be perfect. All in all, that was a well-delivered speech. Thank you. Over to you, TM Juliet.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lawrence. You did not learn from Toastmaster Chidi. She said we should not be saying TM, DTM. We should say it as it is. Toastmaster.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Lawrence, for relinquishing the lectern. And I'm going to call upon Toastmaster Gbemi to evaluate Toastmaster Queen's speech. It's so hard saying Toastmasters. Over to you, Toastmaster Gbemi.
Thank you, the Toastmaster of the day. Well done, Team Toastmaster Queen. What a lovely speech. I found a lot of positive from the speech. First thing first, you started with a question, and that's a lot. It's always stated that when you start with the question, it gets the audience engaged in like self-reflection and all. So you did that, I was like, okay, because when I see your topic, are you a leader? So I was looking at what are we going to be getting from this speech itself. So that's a good thumbs up for you on that. Okay, you make a few quotes, towards the end of your speech, you did some some referrals to the past leaders and all, which is quite commendable. I really appreciate that. You did good in some few things. I need to point, okay, you did your hand gesticulation was fine. Despite the fact that your camera was not down, but I can still feel the hand that you are gesticulating and all. Okay, you also pause. You also make some few pauses whenever necessary. It was not too much. Like, okay, I know some people will make pauses, and at the end of the day, it will be too long. But when you are giving the speech, there were pauses, and I could feel and digest the point you just made. Okay. Another thing you did good was, okay, for the leadership and style that the few examples that you make, you give us the merits and the demerits. Like, we're able to say, okay, for the visionary leadership, you're able to know, okay, this is the merits and also the demerits. Also for the coaching leadership, the one for Obasanjo, you're able to also tell us the merit and demerits, which is quite commendable. And these are relatable examples that we can actually take a cue from. I find it hard to look for what to improve on, really, because ideally your camera is placed well, the lighting is fine, but I noticed towards the end you stutter, like, I don't know, probably you missed the line or something, but in all, you did a very good job, and I will commend you for that. And all. Another thing, I don't know if it is a norm, really. I believe when giving speech, it's more like people get to know whatever. We take a close attention to you than sitting. I don't know why. Probably is I don't know. I'm just saying out of the blue, but I guess that if you want to give speech in the future, try and stand up. And I know you always stand up in previous time. I don't know why you have changed to sitting and giving speech. All in all, you did a good job. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gbemi. Thank you so much. Please, let's give the two evaluators a round of applause. That was well said. I don't know if it's me, the grammarian can correct. I don't think I heard the word of the day from both speakers. Oh, we are voting for evaluators. All right, please vote for your best evaluator. But I don't think I heard the word of the day from, but don't take my word for it. I'm not very good with it. I think grammarian is one role I run away from, grammarian, and listening evaluator. I run away from both roles because I don't hear anything. I'm struggling to concentrate because I have a short attention span. I'm struggling to stay in the room. So whenever they give me those roles, I will not say, nobody use the word of the day. People will not start saying, oh, I did. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. So please take the account because I didn't hear. So I don't take those roles. So it's not an easy role. So well done to the grammarian and all the role. Yes.
That's your bad habit. You need to replace it.
Exactly. I need keystone habits to help me fix those things. I'll talk to you later behind the scene so you can teach me what to do. Awesome. So I hope we're done voting.
Yes, we're done.
Awesome. We're going to go to maybe the last segment, and I'm going to call on the general evaluator, Timothy, Toastmaster Timothy, to give him and his team to give us their report on this meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Toastmaster, for handling relinquishing the lecture to me. So I would be calling on our timer to give the report of how the specific time each speaker used. So over to you, our timer. Timer, are you there?
Maybe you skip the timer, then come back
Okay.
to her. I can't even see her in the, so skip the timer, then come back to her report.
Okay. So
she's here, but she's on. Send her a message.
TM Ruth. Or maybe I should just go, I should call on the grammarian and the counter to give her reports. Then later I'll call on the timekeeper.
Okay.
TM Kachi.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for bringing me in. For the grammarian, for the word of the day, it's very interesting. I'm so happy to let us know that one person that made use of the word of the day is
You're on mute, so you can't relinquish the lecture at this point. So let's see who used the word the most. Please.
Okay. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Just go back to the word of the day. One person, just go back again because we didn't hear the answer. It's very key. This is a very important part of this.
Okay. So for the speakers, both from the panel to the table topic and to the prepared speech, surprisingly, our aspiring Toastmaster Anthony made use of the word of the day. And yeah, and the next person that made use of the word of the day is TM John. Every other person that functioned as an official for today made use of it. And the person that made use of it the most is TM Juliet. He actually made sure you made sure that everybody noticed that you're using the word of the day. And I'm surprised why the other speakers didn't take note of that to take advantage of it. Then for the accountant, TM Gwemi, I don't really understand the role of okay, okay. You used okay a lot. You actually used it like 7 times in your first page. Yeah, so I was like, is that your pause or is just your way of speaking or what? But then you used okay like 7 times. So apart from that, every other person did well. The policies were well managed. And please, let's learn to make use of the word of the day. And today's topic had a lot of reasons for us to use the word relinquish. For me, actually, one habit I'm sure I'm going to try and relinquish is going to bed late. I'm so bad at it, as in, a tip, no she used this against me. In my family, I'm actually called a witch because call me by 1 a.m., 2 a.m., I'll pick my phone and I'm awake. It's a bad habit I have to relinquish. That I have gotten as a challenge from today's session. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, TM Kachi, for your evaluation. Is TM Ruth back online? TM Ruth, are you there?
No, but she shared her report. She said to say that everybody was on time.
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll be moving to the listening evaluator and the person of TM Ayotola. Kindly give your report, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. So it's time for my report. And I love this part because I don't have to feel test. I have the questions. You just have to have the answers. And like Toastmaster Juliet said, I think I suck a bit at listening. So today I challenged myself a bit. I had to be at certain places within the past 2 hours. And I made sure that I was still listening and putting things down. So see, I have a book full. Just get ready. Now, are we all ready? The first question. Someone asked a baker for tasting. Who's that?
Toastmaster Timothy.
Beautiful. Now, which Toastmaster was said to love mirror talking?
Toastmaster Ayotola.
Okay, thank you. And according to Toastmaster Ruth, what comes to mind when she hears "let go"? I know.
It was a long speech. Are we supposed to say the entire thing?
It wasn't a long speech. She said the first thing that comes to her mind when she hears "let go" is, what are we letting go?
So you mean, no, you said what comes to mind, not the first thing.
She said, what comes to mind when I hear let go is what are we there? Then the rest, you know, you should have just said that bit. But
we've been bamboozled.
1 point for me. And Toastmaster Juliet mentioned that she shares 2 habits with Toastmaster Gimba. What are they?
Sleeping and reading.
Sleeping and eating.
Sleeping and eating.
Yes, sleeping
and reading. Sleeping and reading. And reading. Sleeping and reading. I got that one right.
Sleeping and eating.
Reading.
She said though.
Reading.
No, she
Sleeping
said reading.
and reading.
Sleeping and reading.
It's okay. Off the mic. Off the mic.
Reading.
All right. My next question. What is Toastmaster Gbemi's least productive habits?
Procrastination.
Procrastination.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. Okay, there was a Toastmaster who was introduced as an entrepreneur who is committed to helping.
Toastmaster alone.
Good. Okay, so a certain Toastmaster has masters in petroleum engineering.
Toastmaster John.
Toastmaster
I
John.
am John. He's quiet. He's John. I remember.
Okay, so someone said habits cannot be eliminated, but they can be dashed.
Toastmaster John.
Replaced.
That's the word. Okay, so
replaced.
And okay, the distinguished Toastmaster Ifeanyi said, a keystone habit is a kind of habit that causes dash to all other habits.
Chain reaction.
Right.
Okay.
Avoidance.
Okay. So someone said to change an habit, you have to be conscious about dash.
Environment.
No. Okay, let me help you. You have to be conscious about causing dash.
Causing disturbance.
Yes, causing the disturbance. Thank you. And okay,
disturbance.
Yeah, and I love this particular one. When someone asks you what your habit is, the person is asking what?
To know where you're stuck.
Yes, beautiful. Okay, let me move on very fast. So, okay, I'll skip that. Okay, what is Toastmaster Lanre's keystone habits?
Workaholic.
Nice. Okay, so Toastmaster John said he went to bed late last night. What time?
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
Yeah,
I thought he mentioned 9 a.m.
8 p.m.
It's
9 p.m.
It started at 9:30 p.m. Then now it's
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
No, he goes to bed regularly 8 p.m. But yesterday he was late, 9 p.m.
9:30 p.m.
9:30. Toastmaster Abubakar is
p.m.
right.
and he wakes up.
But Toastmaster John said a.m., not p.m.
Yes, you corrected myself later, please. p.m. Toastmaster Chidi, be careful.
Okay.
p.m.
Moving along. If you want to develop a new habit, you need to dash and dash.
Study and track.
Beautiful. Thank you, Professor Chidi.
You need to make it public.
Study and track. So the present is the past undergoing dash. Toastmasters.
Present is the past undergoing modification.
Beautiful, thank you. And okay, going towards the end of this, Toastmaster Dara told us why history is important. Why?
That's the only way you can learn.
Yeah, because it keeps us from repeating bad mistakes. So, okay, yeah, that's pretty much the end of it all. And I just wanted to point out something. I think someone already pointed it out in the chat. Toastmasters, it's not a part of listening, but I'm sure some other people probably learned from it. Akpogmo is actually a Yoruba word, and it means red beard. So I think people just called him because they couldn't pronounce his name, and they called him by his red beard. So we've come to the end of it. It's so beautiful not having to be on the hot seat for you guys were. Thank you so much. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much for the wonderful evaluation the wonderful questions you asked us. So the next is the general evaluation of the meeting. The meeting started a bit late. We started 3 minutes late. The role players came in time. I personally did not come on time, so my apologies for that. So the prepared speeches were awesome. They held me spellbound to my chair. I loved everything about the speakers. Also, the evaluators too, they blew my mind. And as well, the panel session too was educative, informative, and interactive. And the table topics too was very interesting. I personally enjoyed everything about the meeting, and I'm sure you do too. So I think one thing we can do better next meeting is to try to mute our mic when we are not speaking, so we don't have too much noise in the background. So that is my evaluation for this meeting. And before I relinquish my position as the general evaluator, I want to ask TM Toastmasters Juliet, did you take a course in filmmaking, because you listed yourself and the background in a professional way? So I don't know, did you take classes in filmmaking? Over to you, General. Over to you, Toastmasters of the day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can we please give the general evaluator, Toastmaster Timothy, a round of applause? And all the role players and all the members of the audience, even if all you did was listen and stay to the end of this meeting, you did well. Trust me, I had so much fun. So I have a habit. I carry my weather with me, right? So it doesn't really matter how you're feeling. So for those that are frowning, hoping I will frown, I'm not usually affected by the environment because my weather is with me all the time. So that's why you see me, sometimes I'm very hyper. So get used to it. So thank you so much. Today's meeting has been very interesting. Don't worry, I'll get to the result. I'm not going to skip that, but I just want to appreciate all of you. And I'm going to start by giving you all the love emoji. I love this emoji. It's rarely used in Zoom meetings. Please give yourself the love emoji. Give anybody you love the love emoji. Give those you hate the love emoji. Just click on the love emoji. It's been an interesting meeting, and it's 1:10, and we're still here and we're still together. I mean, that's a great deal. So thank you so much for having me here. But before I leave, I'm going to just announce the results. It's actually another level of feedback for those who participated in those areas. So I'll start with the best table topic speaker. If you're ready, free your hands, and you're ready. And she is no other than Toastmaster Bemi. Well done, Toastmaster Baby. So that is your certificate. It will be sent to via DHL or something, but it will be sent to you. Just wait for it. Now, our next champion for today's meeting is our best panelist speaker. Are we ready? Are we ready? She is somebody that I really, really love and respect. Are we ready? Are we ready? I'll give you a clue. It has 2 ears. It's no other than Toastmaster John. Awesome. So you'll get your certificate in your email or via WhatsApp or Telegram. Just manage it like that. Now, the next champion for today's meeting is our best evaluator. Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Is in the person of TM Lawrence. Toastmaster Lawrence, please. And his son is right there to accept this award, just like we do in the Grammys. Accept the award with him. Last and definitely not the least is our best speaker category. And she is, there are two she's, so you know is a lady. She is Toastmaster Dara. Please, round of applause. Toastmaster Dara, that is your certificate for the history lessons. Thank you for that speech. Now, for every other person that participated, even though you did not get the best category, this is from me to you because I celebrate you. Well done. It is not easy to speak, trust me. I was glossophobic for a number of years. Thanks to Toastmaster Salif, he's here. He mentored me since last year. I joined Toastmaster last year. I could do official presentations. I mean, that's work, technical presentations. But when it comes to speaking to people I don't know, I would not say a word. I will not even type in the chat box. But look at me having fun in front of all of you. So thank you for allowing me to serve you today. Because if you are smart, serving is the neck, and the neck tells the head where to go. So even though I'm serving you guys, I'm actually telling you guys what to do, how to do. You see? So you see? So service is about leadership, and leadership is about service. So thank you so much for having me here. It was my honor. And today, my job is done. So I hand over the lectern to the president, TM Toastmaster Salif Mohammed.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jules, the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much. Can you all hear me? I've been having some network issues. Right, thank you. Okay. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, if you had a very enthralling session as I did, if you know, you affirm also that you left your boredom by the door as you entered this meeting room. A round of applause for all the sessions and all the role players and speakers. It's been truly awesome. Let's give them a round of applause. Wonderful session we had today. Thank you so much. Thank you. The time is fast spent. This is not a culture with Toastmasters. But what I would do is to wrap up quickly so we'll be out of here. First, I would like our guests to go to the chat box. There is a message for them to type in their details so we can get back to them. You are so important to us. We need to follow up with you and get to know you more. Please go to the chat box. The message will be sent. Thank you so much.
Sir, the message is there.
All right, thank you. A very important announcement. Drum rolls, drum rolls, drum rolls. The Aerial International Speech and Evaluation Contest holds this Sunday, next Sunday, 28th of March, 2021, by 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you attended our club contest, you will know that it promises to be a great package. It's going to be a clash of the titans. So if you are ready to have fun during the Aerial International Speech and Evaluation Contest, keep a date with us. The date is Sunday, 28th of March, 2021, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Another important announcement, the membership renewal is here again. Take steps to renew your membership. You would agree with me that the best virtue, leadership virtue, is stickability. your ability to hold on to something that makes you improve at all times. I implore you all to renew your registration, your membership dues, so we'll continue with this fun on a regular basis. Thank you all as we adhere to this. Most importantly, I would like us to meet our esteemed guests. If you are a guest today, I would like you to unmute your mic and your video if possible. Let's get to meet you. Your name, who invited you to Toastmasters, to the meeting, what you do, how have you found this meeting, and if you would come again. We would like to know that because we want you to come, really come again. So who is first to speak?
Hi, afternoon, everyone. This is Anthony Kentebe. I spoke earlier. Okay, so yes, I was invited by Toastmaster Ruth Idioma. I work as a data analyst in Intel, and I realized that I really had to push up or had to boost my speech skills. I stutter, so I knew I had to face that head on, because if you have to progress in life, you have to be able to face things that you fear. So I figured, I reached out to her and I spoke to her about it, and she said, okay, I could try joining Toastmasters. And then I tried doing my research online, and I realized that it's the right place to be. So I came in as a guest to see how the meeting, what it is about. And so far, so good. I'm very impressed. So yeah, I hope to be around a lot more and to make my impact in Toastmasters. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for coming in. Thank you. Thank you for coming. You've given an icebreaker already.
Hi, good afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
My name is Suraj Vaswani. I was invited by one of the Toastmasters, Mr. Pradeep Pelwani. I'm into sales and marketing, and I was looking forward to Toastmasters being an opportunity for me to improve on my public speaking skills.
Thank you, Suraj. Thank you for coming. This is the right place to be.
You are doing a wonderful job.
Look forward to seeing you after. Thank you. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you more often.
Definitely.
Becoming a member in no time.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
All right. Beautiful afternoon, distinguished Toastmasters and Toastmasters. My name is Fumi Lori. I was invited by Toastmaster Kayode a long time ago, but I searched online myself and I found the prestigious Lighthouse Toastmaster. So I sent a message to the number and she sent me the link this morning, and I'm really grateful that she did. I've been enjoying myself. I run a mobile library. I'm a teacher, and I intend to start a coaching class in communication, but I needed to be in a club that would help me continue learning. And I'm really happy that I'll be joining the Toastmasters. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. You are at the right place. You are at the right place. Might I mention the Toastmaster of the day is a huge coach. In fact, she's my coach. I would let you know that I'm not only her mentor, she mentors me too. She's a huge coach, and you would agree with me that this is the place to build yourself for the future that you desire. Welcome, Fumi.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters.
Good afternoon.
My name is Adebimpe Ajibola. I got the link for this program from my president, I belong to another Toastmasters club, the Resolute Toastmasters. And I just wanted to see how it's done in other Toastmasters. And I can tell you, I had a wonderful time. I enjoyed all the speeches, and I really had fun. So thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you for taking time to be at our meeting. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters.
Well, good afternoon.
My name is Jane Olisa. I work with Heritage Bank. Ms. Toastmaster Pradeep invited me. In 2019, I've attended the on-site classes in Victoria Island like twice or 3 times. I was preparing and, talking about procrastination, registering, and then pandemic came, the answers came, and just recently he asked me that why don't I join the class anymore? And I'm like, oh, it clashes with my other training online. So it was like, I should make it work if I really want it. So I'm back again, and I'm sure I'll be registering very soon. No more procrastination. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you for coming. Thank you. We look forward to having you as our member soon. Thank you. We would like to hear your voice.
I think that was all. Ngozi Okafor is a guest, but she attended the previous meeting.
Okay, in the absence of...
I can go ahead and introduce myself again. My name is Ngozi Okafor. I was looking for where I could develop my public speaking. I mean, being able to stand up and talk to people without freezing. So I started to discuss this with my daughter, and she told me about the Toastmaster. So I searched online, and then I found you guys. And I'm happy to be here. It's been a very interesting afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
To be better. Thank you.
Thank you, Pep, to our meeting. Thank you. It's been wonderful talking to our esteemed guests, Anthony, Suraj, Fumi, Toastmaster Debimpe, Jane, and Ngozi, all for coming. Also, I would like to recognize the presence and ever support of Toastmasters Chidi James Madu, Toastmaster John Onuminya, and Toastmaster Anthony Madden. Your presence in our meetings are the icing on the cake of our meetings. Thank you so much for your support always. Thank you all for coming. And to the audience, you rock. Without you, this meeting wouldn't have been possible. Thank you. By the power bestowed on me as the president of Lighthouse Prestige Toastmasters Club, I would like to bring this meeting to a halt. We will reconvene again in the first week of April. No, I think we will reconvene again during the international area international competition, international and evaluation contest. Let's meet. Let's have a date on the 28th of March 2021, ladies and gentlemen. It promises to be a very enthralling session, enthralling contest. After that, we'll meet for the meeting, but please come for the contest. Make a date with us. Thank you so much. It's been fun being here. It's been fun meeting you all. It's been fun having you all make this meeting wonderful. Thank you so much. And bye till we meet again.
Thank you. Enjoy your weekend.
Mr. President. Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you, Tim.